Welcome to the Intrazone, a show about the Microsoft 365 Intelligent Intranet. I'm Mark Cashman, running this one particular episode, Han Solo. It's just me with you today, but on today's episode, Chris and I talk with Sascha Friedrich and Markus Etzel from Bechtle, who are based in Germany. We are going to dive into their unique take on their recent Microsoft Teams focused event where they took their attendees deep into the present future of communication and collaboration, and dare I say, transportation. What? Transportation? Yes, you heard me right. Now, some meetings happen in the boardrooms, some in coffee shops, and some inside a rolling high-tech collaboration hub on wheels, a Microsoft Teams room set up inside a Volkswagen ID Buzz EV van. Now, that's taking hybrid work to a whole new level, literally a meeting that moves with you. This unique setup blended communication with transportation, giving attendees a first-hand experience of seamless connectivity wherever the road takes them. And stay tuned to the end as we share a unique piano song written and performed by Sascha that celebrates the value of community, how we are and stay connected, and the importance of voices in, about, and from the community. So my small form from afar takeaway of this interview that you're about to hear from a tech perspective is really all about flexibility. It's the flexibility of Microsoft Teams to adapt to its surroundings, to meet you where you're meeting from and who you are collaborating with. Specifically, let's ruminate a little bit on Microsoft Teams Rooms, that shape-shifting chameleon of meeting spaces. Whether you're a big picture strategist pacing around like it's your personal TED Talk, or a meticulous note taker who turns the screen into a CSI evidence board, Teams Room adapts and supports. And it really was the attendees' experience at their event to see Microsoft Teams Rooms, of course, within the Volkswagen ID Buzz experience, but to really see what it is like that you can do with the Microsoft Teams Room experience. Of course, the audio, the video, the visual nature of how you see people who you're talking to, and of course how they see you from within inside the ID Buzz, which is super fun. Now, the whole concept is that it seamlessly connects remote and in-room, or in this case, in-van participants, making sure no one's stuck talking to the void. It is the ultimate sidekick for modern work, minus the cape or kitschy catchphrase, though I can see Teams having a comedic catchphrase and being a little bossy. You're muted again. And of course, insert the audience laugh track here. Alrighty then. With that catchphrase tested on the Intrazone and out of the way, let's get to our full discussion with Sascha and Markus. Welcome to the Intrazone, and I would actually like to say here at the Microsoft 365 Community Conference, welcome to the Atrium Zone, because we're actually recording this in the Microsoft Community Lounge in the atrium of the MGM Grand Conference Center.
Let's talk about what you all have been doing at Bechtle.
Markus, do you want to start? Let us know who you are, what you do at Bechtle.
Yes, of course. And thanks you for being here. Worked now for a couple of years, 10 years in total for the Bechtle Group. My starting point was in unified communication area. In my role as a team lead, I built a competence center for voice. I started initially with OCS, Lync, Skype for Business, and since the first days, I'm working on Teams and Teams Voice and Meeting, of course. In my daily work, I focus on that topics in a worldwide enterprise scenario, helping customers to transform from legacy PBX over to Teams Voice. And together with Sascha, I'm working on new, cool and fancy ideas around modern work and communication area. And that's the reason why we come in contact.
Let's meet your cohort. Sascha, give us a sense of what you do, and then we're going to get into the fun stuff of what you, the plural, do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you very much. So I'm Sasha. I'm working now for 7 years at Bechtle in the area of Microsoft technology consulting. I'm also an MCT since 9 years in a row now. And I'm at Bechtle responsible for our experience centers. So not on wheels, but that will be the detailed later follow on that. And yeah, together with Markus, we are engaging and driving a lot of internal and external community activities and events.
You know, when Mark and I usually host, we get to ask our guests, where are you calling in from today? Well, you're all calling in from here, but where's home for both of you?
We are coming from Germany and Cologne area near Aachen. Is a
fantastic.
city.
It's a beautiful city, such great architecture. Now that you're here in Las Vegas, you know, some of these historic buildings date to the 1970s. So you have that going for you. Here at the conference, is this your first M365 conference, or have you been to some of our prior events?
No, it's a second time to be part of the M365 conference. We were last year in Orlando, and we'll be back here on stage in Vegas.
Okay, so we're talking a lot about this particular event that we're at because we actually want to talk about a different event, actually your event, and some of the unique things that you did at your event. So let's track through what was your event, and then let's get into the specifics of how you actually conveyed the things that people could play with. I'll just tease it there. But maybe, Markus, you can start with what was the event, and then we'll get into the tech side.
Yeah, of course. So as Bechtle Group, we provide one of the largest Microsoft partner events, especially in German. It's called the Bechtle Microsoft World. It's running in Offenburg, southern Germany. It has been started more than 6 years ago with a small number of customers and partners, and now over 1,200 customers will visit us during a day to get the latest news around Microsoft products, etc. And last year the focus was directly on AI, and going forward this year along transforming and be ready for tomorrow.
Fantastic. So with that event, just tell me, why did you start it in the first place? I'm always interested in the origin stories for community events.
Yeah, it started 6 years ago.
And when you started, how many folks did you have at the first event?
I think 200, 300.
Oh, that's great.
More or
that's
less.
Great, yeah.
And and we started with partners doing a good marketing, and you know how it is running.
Mm-hmm.
One guy explains the other one, and next time we have more and more customers, more and more partners. We have changed the hall between, so we have the biggest hall there on the town to keep all the tracks running.
That's fantastic. You'll have to let me know when you're going to do the next one. Maybe I can get over there to see it.
Yes, it's running in June, so in
fantastic.
a couple of weeks. So.
But I think we want to talk not just about the next one, but about the one that you just held.
Outside of your event, you had some unique offerings in some unique vehicles, not just a vehicle for your event, but actual vehicles. So maybe this is a Volkswagen plug. But can you tell us about these charged electric vehicles that were a part of your event?
Yes, of course. It's not only the vans. When we go back to the base idea, we see that our meeting solutions are getting hybrid, inside, outside, everywhere. And creative places with appeal us to rethink hybrid meetings, leaving the personal comfort zone, you know that, of a meeting room, and react flexibility. And that in the time where sustainability is on the top. That's the reason and the initial idea. And so Sasha can explain a little bit how we do build that.
And mobility isn't just how can I use my mobile phone to be productive or to join a call. You actually took it to another level on 4 wheels with a little bit of extra battery power.
Yeah, so we taking this mobile and put it in combination with the electric car. So we have here in Bechtle, we have 2 electric cars. One is fully equipped with Microsoft devices, Copilot Plus PCs, different Surface devices. Surface Hub 3 is inbuilt. And of course, we have the other vehicle that is equipped as a multi-purpose ID bus.
Okay.
So that means we have a fully Teams Rooms on Windows system on board, including AI PC as a component from different vendors.
So I want to just admit, like, I'm a very proud owner of multiple Volkswagen vehicles. I used to drive Jettas. Now I have Audis. So I'm familiar with the line, but I'm not sure everyone in our audience knows what the ID Buzz is. Why don't you sort of explain what is an ID Buzz? What does it look like?
Yeah, it looks like the iconic bus from Volkswagen from the 60s. So I think you remember this hippie
bus.
Hippie bus, yeah, in front with the flower and the passenger seat side. There was this special flower. And think this is an iconic bus, and it's very remarkable on the street.
So let's get this straight. An iconic bus, which back in the day would have had some tie-dye and some beads and other things, but it's the 21st century. And so instead, I think you said you've mounted a Surface Hub inside one of these.
Yes, I do. It was no joke.
Wow. That's great. And it works. You've used this for meetings.
Yes, of course. So the base of the story is to have an experience center on wheels. And so a Surface Hub, for example, is a part of a meeting solution. And we built or mount that in the car, including a battery, which is under the driver's seat to have it immobile.
So let me follow up. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. Back in the 1970s and the 80s, American record executives started to realize, and so many people were listening to music in their cars, and since vehicles are a unique environment, they have some sound dampening, they have some live surfaces, you have background noise. So they started building these immobile mixing stations from recannibalized Porsche 911s to sit in the parking lot. But you're not doing that. These are actual, you can take them out, be in the back and have a meeting? Do I have that right?
Yes, we have a side door that could be opened, and we can use the back to put a laptop on it, and the Teams meeting is running then when you are looking from the back into the car on the big screen, and through patented technologies that is available by different vendors, and of course very important with the AI enhanced inbuilt Teams features during meetings, the audio could be very well captured, and it doesn't matter if a lorry passes by when the team meeting is running and you ask the external audience, did you hear my voice? And did you recognize that the lorry passed by because I had the side door open?
I was going to say, for the broader audiences, myself included, to make sure I got this right, the lorry are the police and the sirens that you might hear, but with the team's innovation and obviously the way you implemented it, maybe you could be doing whatever you want. You have no idea that the cops are around if you were listening to the recording. But we want to get into the user experience. Your attendees came to your event. They saw these buses. What were some of the things that they did? And maybe I'm really interested, once they kind of got over the buzz of the ID Buzz, what were some of their thoughts about what it is that they liked and the things that you were telling them about what resonated?
Yeah, the funny and mostly first question is what is the range of the electric car? So keep in mind the bus weighs around 2.7 tons in total with a battery and all the stuff we put in. But to let you know, approximately 300 to 320 kilometers in total, depending a little bit on the driver mode. But that is in total the most questions before we talk about software and hardware and all the other stuff.
Anybody ask anything about the Teams room or the meeting experience?
Yes, that's the second question.
Okay,
the first question is, what is the distance?
What are the specs?
Yes.
Tell me, is it real?
Yes,
honestly,
really.
When you first sent us some pictures, I thought they did make them. I thought, they kind of came and then they didn't come out, and then they were and then they didn't ship, but now they're out. And so
yes. And on the technical side, because of the end user experience, we see a lot of questions around Teams, Copilot in meetings, and some enhanced new AI features during team meetings, like the facilitator agent. We can show also on the ID Bus, so this is something we enabled there also. Yes, and the good thing is when you have that experience center on wheels, you can drive it directly to the customer side.
So I'm going to put you on the spot since you mentioned agents. So there's the facilitator agents and there's all the research agents. Is there an agent that you wish existed that would be particularly well suited to having a Teams room in the back of an ID Buzz?
Yeah, might be. It could be an agent that is connected to the system of the ID Bus that let you know how the current battery level is.
All right.
So
I was thinking
that you can estimate. Okay, I can have full time of that meeting, or I have to be a daily quick meeting.
Or need a charging station there.
Yeah.
I was thinking at the closing of the Teams meeting, you could have it say in German, Alvitervan, Alvitersvan. No, good.
It depends.
Yeah, but in total, we see we see a good resonance of the project itself, and a couple of our customers, that's nice, request us to integrate the ID Buzz story and idea in their modern work migration story. For example, when they did migrations itself. The ID Buzz is part of the user experience. It's a mobile meeting point to come into action with end users, explain what's going on during the system migration, etc.
Because you worked with some pretty specific Microsoft technology and a pretty unique bus with VW and the ID Buzz, there's a lot of newness in what you're doing, both with our technology and Volkswagen technology, and maybe other things that we haven't talked about. Was there anything specific where you actually got to work with some of the engineers from either Volkswagen or from Microsoft that helped you answer certain questions or helped to facilitate how you might set up the van? Was there any interaction with Microsoft or other engineering teams that helped you get to the event?
Not really, and in the first step, in the version as we currently have on the road, but I think it will be necessary in the second step. The funny thing, we were on an event where Volkswagen employees visit the event and say, "Oh, wow, yeah, you created a modern meeting room and experience center in a car which we have produced a few weeks ago." That's the funny things.
And the second thing was also this guys from Volkswagen suggested, okay, this idea is so crazy. I think we can discuss it internally that we will extend the car configurator on the page.
So I am curious. So this is a permanent thing. This wasn't a one-off. You've taken it on the road as a mobile experience center. So I'm imagining, though, is it used all the time, or can you sign this out and say, I want to do a test or do some? Can someone at Bechtle set up their own mobile meeting if the van isn't already reserved? Is that happening yet?
Yeah. So that was also a point. So some colleagues reached out to me. Hey, is it possible that I can book this van for having a meeting in the outside or in the woods? And then, we make this possible that they can book this van via Microsoft Places.
Right.
I was just about to say, what was it actually in your global address list where somebody could name the room ID Buzz 2?
Yes, it is, but it is not bookable for everyone.
I have a friend who has an office near the water, and his boat is a reservable meeting room in their address list. But it's interesting. We were talking before, Microsoft has a research facility adjacent to the campus. You're talking about the Buzz. Theirs is called the Hive. Yep. And the Hive is a place where they research sort of the next generation meeting rooms, and they build facsimiles of things like where Satya Nadella, the CEO, records his messages, or what a super large conference room should look like in the future, or what a focus room should look like.
You might be already inventing the next thing. There's Teams rooms, then there's Teams on wheels, or Teams car, or something.
Yes. Yeah, we are ready on that.
Okay. Well, let's switch gears a little bit because we are in Vegas, and there's a lot more that you do outside of your event. So we just want to learn, what are some of the things that you're either here to learn, or you're sharing, or maybe without revealing too many of the people that you're talking to, some of the things that you're talking about.
Yeah, for me, it's very important in the Microsoft 365 community conference to share knowledge with my fellows, with other attendees. I, as a takeaways, I learned a lot about security in the era of AI, latest updates on Copilot, OneDrive, SharePoint, and Teams. And thanks to the extraordinary kickoff session with Jeff Teeper in the morning.
Yeah, I think you just summarized the entire keynote of Jeff and Vasu. And was there anything that surprised you in terms of the keynotes in what you saw?
The agents in SharePoint and the live demos were very extraordinary and very interesting.
Yeah, we'll share them in the blog just so that we get the numbers and the quotes right. But there were some big numbers that Jeff shared, and kudos to obviously a lot of our partners that are helping stretch those numbers with our customers. But yeah, agents were pretty top of mind for the team, and that seemed to resonate pretty well. Cool.
Yeah, and a lot of, in my perspective, private impressions around the conference. So my summary is use the possibility of a community event to come into contact with as much people as you can. So there are funny, interesting, and curious stories behind every conversation. So we met some people from India, which we never seen before. Take some photos at the booth, or a waitress in a restaurant nearby who has family near where I was born in Germany. So that's curious. Just a couple of kilometers away, and we meet us again in Vegas.
It is
Funny
one of the
thing.
things that I love about this event, and especially the community lounge. It is why you don't just jump to Bing or Google to look something up. The fact is that what you get here is the ability to connect with other people. And like if there's something that you've faced as a problem, you can find someone here who solved the same problem. And if you've solved a problem, there's someone here who could use that solution. And if there's a friend you haven't found yet, they're right out there.
Yes.
That's true.
So far, there's people you meet or things that you've absorbed. What's the first thing you're going to tell folks when you get back home that you heard at the conference?
I think the newest updates on agents, and that we have now convinced our customers that what Brad Smith also did in the past 2 weeks ago with the European cloud, that Microsoft, that Europe has to earn again this trust Microsoft. Right. And there's, I hope, more to come, that Microsoft technologies will be protected.
Yeah, I recognize that trust is something that is not a one-time feature. You have to do it every day, every week, every month. And I agree with you. I actually personally loved seeing all of the agent manageability, the adoption metrics, the security, because otherwise it's wide open. And consistent with being able to have a trusted and compliant environment, it also means giving you the tools to extend that for your own capabilities.
Is there any way I can use the van so that I could work remotely? And I'm doing air quotes for those listening on the podcast. Have you taken it out for any like family trips where you can work remotely, through the Teams meeting? Have you used it personally?
Yeah, we made a beta test like that, and tried it out. And we find a way then how is it working in the woods, and lives this in an authentic way, modern work on the street. So wherever you would like to have a place to work in a confident way, securely with your data, and that is possible with this project. So it works.
But you can use that when you come over to Germany. So that's an offer to you.
I don't know if they finished filming on it, but that Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible 8, I think Mr. Hunt might need to jump into an IT Buzz to get his next meeting.
Do you have any on the top where we can hold on and you can drive as fast as that thing will go? And we'll do our best Tom Cruise impression. But because you guys already figured it out and how it works, it'll be Mission Possible. We have one more thing, Sasha. This is really directed at you. You've done something for the community that people are going to get to hear on this podcast, maybe for the first time. I'm not going to tee it up too much because I'd like you to talk about it, kind of what it is and what inspired you about it. But you wrote a specific and special song for the community on a piano. You should also know Chris is quite the musician himself. So use in all the big verbiage that you can. I may not understand it all, but would love to hear about your community song, what inspired you, what it's called, and anything you want to share.
I composed a song for the Microsoft 365 community conference that reflects every culture in every country should have a place in the song. So the song is everyone should be respectful with each other.
Thank you for sharing that.
So thank you for your time here in Vegas. Thanks for making the trek. Thanks for sitting down with Chris and I. And thank you very much for everything that you do.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for being a part of the conference.
It was great to sit down with you. We'll be right back.
I hope you've enjoyed listening to what Marcus and Satya had to say, both about their experience at that unique event with the unique experience of Microsoft Teams in the VW ID Buzz, and more so just to hear from them and how they're talking with different people from different walks of life, of course, across a lot of different types of companies in Germany, about the value of what Microsoft Teams can bring, and of course what their company Bechtle can bring to the Teams experience, and even more broadly, how you can implement and use Microsoft 365 even more broadly, of course, for meetings and beyond. Before we go, we wanted to share something special, and in fact, it's a debut. Sasha composed and performed the following original piano piece, no words, just music, dedicated to this community, the best community in tech. It is his reflection of the connections, the conversations, and the impact we all make together. All right, so let us dim down the lights, roll out the piano center stage, the keys await. Let the music begin. As the music fades, we want to thank our guests, Sascha Frederick and Marcus Etzel, for being on the show and for sharing insights about Microsoft Teams, their augmented VW ID Buzz meeting room, and all the ways they blend together to make a unique event memorable and engaging for each and every attendee. We encourage you to check out the show page for links to all that we discussed today and more. Just go to aka.ms/theinterzone. Thanks for listening. I'm your host, Mark Cashman. This has been The Interzone, a show about the Microsoft 365 battery-powered Vanagon again and again intelligent intranet.